Where was you born at?
I was born in Seattle, Washington.
Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, I was born in Seattle, Washington. I wasn't there long. Okay. Then I moved to Atlanta after that. You know, and I moved to Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Wow.
And that's really where it was like a culture shock.
Okay.
Because I went from being a kid in Seattle, and the number one thing we did in Seattle, we played hockey outside. You know what I mean? Like that was like street hockey, roller hockey. Like it was like a hockey place. Like we liked hockey a lot, you know. But when I moved to Stone Mountain, Georgia, they were playing basketball when the basketball goes out front, you know.
Okay. Yeah.
So it was a complete difference. You went from this side to that side, you know. So, but it was great. I love Atlanta.
You play hockey?
I played hockey as a kid. Yeah,
That's
definitely. Up until I was about. I mean, very little though. You know what I mean? Probably about till 5 or 6 or 7, maybe.
That's pretty.
And then I moved to Atlanta.
Okay.
Stone Mountain.
I ain't never put on no hockey skates and tried it, but I would like to do it though.
Yeah, so, it was fun, you know. But it's a thing up there, you know.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. So you went to school in Atlanta, Georgia, right? And that's where you was taking up school at?
Yeah. That's for elementary school and stuff, like growing up.
Yeah.
I moved around a lot though.
Okay.
But I'm mainly from Atlanta for the most part, because I always went to a different place. Like I moved to Chicago, then I moved back to Atlanta. Moved to Virginia, then I moved back to Atlanta. Moved to Ohio, then I moved back to Atlanta. So I always came back to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So I had more time in Atlanta than anywhere else, you know.
Yeah, and that's where you got all the connections and experience.
Yeah, definitely.
So tell me about like the your music journey. How your music journey started?
Well, if I look at the whole journey in whole, I would say it started from band class. It started from just being in love with music.
Say that again. What?
Band class.
Today, teachers in band classes having a hard time trying to get students to go learn the music and start out in band class. And I tell them, this is how it always starts.
Yeah, no, the band class is definitely where it starts. Music class, band class. You take a liking in those areas, you know. But I had a really good teacher.
Okay.
I had a really good music teacher at one point in my life. It was a teacher named Miss Kelly George.
Okay.
And she believed that music was not a talent. She believed that music was a skill. So at a young age, she taught us that anybody could sing, anybody could rap, anybody could dance, anybody could play an instrument. It's just learning the music. You know what I mean? Your music knowledge and your music theory and your music history and knowing what's going on. So through that, that really opened the door to take me from band to say, hey, I can be a rapper, I could be a singer, I could be this. So as a young kid, I went from being in band to, okay, now I want to be a rapper to, well, I'm rapping about things that I don't know nothing about. I didn't live that life. I didn't, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not out here doing this stuff. So how can I rap about that kind of stuff? So as time went on, I learned more about production. And then once I learned about production, and I've always been into computers, I've always had a knowledge of computers because my uncles, I have 2 uncles who in the 80s, they were very much into the Bill Gates of the world and the Steve Jobs of the world, the Apple, the Macintosh era. You know, I have 2 uncles who completely nerded out into that world. So that knowledge just trickled down to where I understood, but I never wanted to be on computers just to create a computer or do the ones and zeros. I wanted to make music. You know what I mean? So yeah, so my journey really started from there, from it going to school, band class, getting on my mom's computer, downloading software that I wasn't supposed to download or that she didn't know nothing about, but I knew something about. You know what I mean? Just taking those moments to really learn what's going on. But as far as the music journey, it's always been in me, you know? I feel like your journey starts from the time you start listening to music, to be honest, because throughout my career, I've been blessed to work with a lot of top R&B artists and top R&B producers.
Name some. Before.
Yeah, like Tricky, The Dream, a producer named Shakespeare who did No Scrubs and Bills, a producer named Pierre, like so many producers, a vocal producer by the name of Ku Carell, just so many that I'm gonna forget. I forget so many, but yeah. So with being around that or growing up, my father loved R&B.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So when I would get in the car, it would be R&B music. When I would go here, you would hear Next playing. You would hear. I don't even know if you remember a group called Men at Large. There was two big guys. My dad used to listen to stuff like that. Where like it was like the New Jack Swing era, like real smooth R&B sounding stuff. You know what I mean? So that kind of was embedded in me. But then I also had my own stuff that I liked, like Lil Wayne had came out, the Hot Boys had came out. So you got that transitional period of, okay, well, we're having young rappers, but they're not just a child rapper. They're rapping about adult things, but they're still a child. So it's relatable, stuff like that, you know?
Right.
So I had my side, which is the rap side, me growing up on my own, of learning, knowing, investing in rap myself. I feel like the older producers like Kanye West, right? Or like these older guys who've been in the game, they always say like, oh, my parents listened to Aretha Franklin and on Saturday cleaning up, and you have all this soul in their music. For me, my version of that was the R&B era.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like my parents would listen to current R&B and stuff like that. So that helped me with my journey. That was because you could see those seeds throughout. You could see them blossom throughout my career. You know what I mean?
Yeah, helped you shape learn your journey.
My sound, everything. Yep.
So you when you went to music for school, did you go to music for school?
Yeah. I went to LA recording school. After I graduated high school, I moved to Los Angeles. Well, I really went out there to work a job. With my father. He had put me on a job. So I went out there to work a job on a landfill. And I didn't really like it. It wasn't too into it. I was into music. So while I was out there, I took the opportunity to take advantage and say, hey, okay, well, I'm going to work every day and I'm making money. I could pay and put myself through school. You know what I mean? And I could figure out how to get this money and put myself through school. So that's what I did. So I went to this school called Los Angeles Recording School. I took a 1-year program there, and man, I hit the ground running. You know. That's
it.
Yeah. But it's a little deeper than that because I wasn't a good student growing up.
Gotcha.
So in high school, I wasn't really a good student. I struggled with grades. I struggled with paying attention. I struggled with certain stuff because I had this idea in my mind that I was so good at music that by the time I get to be a senior anyways, I'm gonna have a deal. And me and my boys are gonna be signed and the world's gonna know us. You know what I mean? So I started skipping school, started just to go to the studio. You know what I mean? I started showing up late. I had senior year of high school, I had probably missed 75% of my first period class.
Wow, in the senior year?
Senior year.
In the first period?
First period. 75% of my first period class I had missed because I thought I was gonna be this and that. You know what I mean? I didn't understand. So I would say the most life-changing moment in that time period, because there was a lot of things that changed my life. But the thing that changed my life in that time period was that I didn't graduate. You know what I mean? My teachers didn't. Because, you know, in school, sometimes you feel like you could play around and then you get pushed along. But then life's going to teach you that you ain't really getting pushed along. You eventually they're going to stop you. So my senior year, I didn't graduate on time. I didn't graduate. So I couldn't walk. I tried to go to teach. And the craziest part about it is, everybody that I'm skipping school with, everybody that I'm running around with, they didn't tell me that they still doing the work.
Oh, wow, You
know what I'm trying to say? So I learned a lot from that experience because they got to graduate. You know what I mean? All the people I was recording, all the people that I was making beats for, all the people that was coming by because I had built a studio in my grandparents' house around that time. And they had this shed out in the backyard, and I had turned that into a recording studio. So I used to have people come over from school and record them, and I would like make albums, and I would put out albums. Me and my boy at the time, my best friend in high school, we would put out albums all through school, like all through the year. Like it would be first quarter, we drop a project. We was in there thinking like we were Master P and Birdman. You know, we swore, we thought we was on. We thought because we were doing meetings after school, we would go meet adults who had labels and stuff. We thought, man, for sure they're gonna sign one of us and we're gonna be gone. You know, so why we need school?
Yeah.
Little did I know.
Yeah.
Don't matter. You know what I'm saying? So
that's what I be trying to tell the youth.
Yeah.
You better stay in school.
You gotta stay in school. Education is everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had to learn that a certain way because, so now, what changed my life and what was the most important part was, I had a girlfriend who, she graduated that year as well.
Right.
So, I had never met her father.
Okay.
So I was supposed to meet her father at the graduation, but I'm not graduating. So I have to go to the graduation. See, some people, they get to mess up, and then they skip out and don't pay attention to what they missed out on. You see what I'm saying? So this was a life lesson for me because I got to see firsthand what I missed out on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I go to the graduation. I done begged my teachers, everything. I done did all that. Now, one teacher, we had his name, I think his name was Mr. Lewis, but we used to call him Uncle Phil. Because he looked just like Uncle Phil from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Okay.
But I had disrespected that man's class so much that he just was like, you're not ready. I cannot move you forward. At the time, I hated taught me a life lesson.
Right.
Because then when I went to the graduation, I still had to go to graduation. See, a lot of people don't graduate. A lot of people drop out of school and they don't go to graduations. They just forget what they don't have to pay attention to what they missed out on.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But if you pay attention to what you actually miss out on, then you can grow.
Yeah.
And you can learn to understand.
Yep.
You know? So I go to the graduation. I'm watching all my friends walk across the stage.
Man.
I'm watching everybody. You know what I'm saying? I'm watching tears in my eyes. I'm trying to hold it back because I'm realizing, you in a losing position now. You the loser.
Yeah.
You the loser. They going to college. They about to have a fun summer. And go to college. And now you want to be involved, but you ain't do what you were supposed to do to be involved. And who can you blame?
Yeah, only yourself. That's it.
All you can blame is yourself.
Yeah.
That's all you could ever blame.
Yeah.
And I learned that lesson. That all you can blame is yourself. Because whether you ignore it, you're gonna have to look in that mirror.
Right.
You know? And that was the day. That was my mirror. That was a mirror for me. I was looking at a reflection of where I could have been, and I wasn't there. So it hurt me. Had to meet my girlfriend at the time, dad. He wondering, well, you in the same grade? Why you wasn't walking up on stage? She embarrassed. She don't want to introduce me because she know I got to introduce the guy who didn't.
Right.
You get what I mean?
Yeah. I bet it was, that was a hard moment.
It's a very hard moment. But you got to learn from it, you know?
Yeah.
So now we fast forward. I get to LA. Now the drive, and now I understand. Now I'm looking like, now in my mind, I'm saying, I'm never gonna be in this position again. Never will I ever be in that position again. I said this to myself and I meant it. I said, all right, never be there again. No matter what I do. We get to Los Angeles, get to LA, I see the recording school, I signed up for the recording school. I mean, I just take it hard, I just take it serious. I take it so serious that when I was growing up, I didn't ask a lot of questions in school. That was a downfall. You know, I didn't know how to do this. Instead of asking a question, I just go home and try to learn it myself. You know, individual learning is good. But when I got to recording school, first day teacher walked in, he said, who knows what a recording engineer is? He said, who doesn't know what a recording engineer is? I look around the class, everybody in there acting like they know what a recording is. I said, I don't know what that is. Can you start from the zero? And bring me up to speed? Okay. Who knows what Pro Tools is? I don't know what that is. Can you bring every little thing? Who knows what a condenser mic is? I don't know. Who knows it? I don't know. You know what I mean? And I was just learning. And then that's where I realized, I'm learning. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm learning, I'm enjoying it, it's fun, and it's also at a time where it's my interest. So I've been doing music for some time, so I'm actually kind of advanced, but I'm not treating myself advanced. You know what I'm saying? I'm treating myself as I don't know nothing. I need to learn every little piece of this. I'm going to school with guys at that time. I see guys doing what I used to do. They come in, they want to be rappers, they want to be singers. One of my homies, he wanted to be a guitar player. He just sitting around playing the guitar. He ain't really trying to learn the record engineering aspect, you know? The audio, how things really work. So So I'm there doing that. So that kind of helped set me apart. That really helped me a lot, you know? So then I move from there. I'm still in LA. Time's going on. Next piece that changed my life. I left to come back to Atlanta for like a week. I had a teacher in LA at a recording school. He told me, he used to say, hey, you guys should get your internship early. Don't wait to get your internship. So me being on my new mindset, I'm listening to what he's telling me. Yeah. Because he didn't record at DMX, he didn't record all these other people at the time. So he driving a Porsche. I'm driving a work truck. You get what I'm trying to say? So I'm listening, I'm paying attention. So I'm like, okay, he said get an internship early. I leave to go to Atlanta. It was like some family thing I had to do. I was gone for like 3 days. While I was there, this recording studio came to my school and asked people if they wanted to be an intern there. I get back. Everybody's like, oh, this studio came and asked if we want to be interns. I'm furious. I'm upset because I'm like, dang, I done did it again. I done missed it. I done went home. Now, that was my time to get my internship. So everybody comes back. When I'm back, they're like, oh, the internship was BS. It was crap. I say it was crap. They're like, yes, the studio's raggedy. They just telling me all this bad stuff. So I said, all right. And they say the studio's taking anybody as an intern. They'll accept any intern, which kind of made it weary for some people because it's like, y'all don't have stipulations. Didn't make me weary. I didn't already have no internship, so I'm like, this is an internship.
Yeah, exactly.
So I go down to the studio. It was one of the oldest studios. It was the first studio that was ever built in Los Angeles.
Okay.
It was just a building. Okay. There was a guy named E-Man Kelly. He was a songwriter back in the day for Marvin Gaye. He's an old man at this point. Okay. Real old man. He had bought the studio with a guy named Richie Stites. Okay. Richie Stites was one of the kids that used to be with Michael Jackson. When he was a child. He was a child dancer. Okay. He was friends with Alfonso Rivera. All that stuff. Wow. But so he had grown up to be a producer, and he had went in with E-Man Kelly, and they got this studio. So their friend was Sleepy Brown. So every day Sleepy Brown would hang out in that studio. That was enough for me. I went down there and I said, hey man, I want to intern here. Cool, I'm there. They set me. Sleepy Brown is there every day. So you know what Sleepy Brown's doing? Telling stories. Telling stories from the Outkast days. I learned so much about how Outkast came to be, the things that they did behind the scenes, the work. He would explain about the work that they put in, about things like people don't know about Andre 3000 and Big Boy was they used to have to do push-ups while reciting their raps. Wow. They used to make them boys do push-ups while reciting their raps to work on their breath control and their stage presence.
That's what you gotta start doing. Because I be wondering, I'm like,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
where you at?
They used to have to do push-ups because they was high school. They were high schoolers who, you know, they were the youngest ones in the Dungeon family around the time. Like, you know, you got all these guys, Rico Wade, and you know, one of them was Rico Wade's cousin. I can't remember who was related to Rico Wade, but those were the guys who was producing them. So you got Sleepy Browns older than them. Those guys was the older guys, like some of them out of high school, some of them seniors, but these guys was freshmen. So I learned all that, but it's teaching me how the game go. I'm talking to Richie Stites. That's when I learned a lesson. He told me, he said, man, so what you think is worse, the music industry or the streets? I said, I would assume the streets. He said, well, it's the music industry. Because the music industry, everybody's taught to be your friend. In the streets, you told that's an enemy, that's a friend. This person trying to backstab you, you respect it. You know how to protect yourself from it. The music industry, he taught me at a young age. I was 18, still in school, in recording school. He told me, man, these people gonna smile in your face, be your friend, but they really, it's a dog eat dog.
Yeah, dog eat dog.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
oof, man. Yeah. That right there touches me when you say that, because that's what the field is basically like about, man. Everybody wants something for you. You don't know who's your friend and who isn't your friend. You don't know who's your friend and who ain't. Well, I'm here to tell you I'm your friend.
Straight up.
Whether you're an engineer or whatever, regardless. Like I said, we stayed next to each other for like